Ooh, my friends, the tea is hot today. Allegations, supposedly, journalist investigations ongoing. This story has influencer drama. It's got religion, charity fraud allegations, shady corporations, AI-generated videos, and all manner of sketchy dealings, all in a whirlwind around a one pretty face who built her entire brand on the back of a major world religion. Hi, welcome to the Secular Scriptures. I'm Gail, and today we're talking about the Lily J Foundation and the absolutely bonkers situation that the ABC News Verify cracked wide open, allegedly. This all went down in early July, but I learned about it last night during Skepticus's live stream, and how I missed this hot tea, I will never know. But all of the important links are down below. There's just two of them. The gist of the situation, allegedly, is that this social media influencer, Lily J, who has built her brand around looking pretty while being Muslim and trolling atheists in very dumb ways, started a charity to help feed children in Gaza, Sudan, and Uganda. Cool, right? Everybody loves a good charity. Except the problem was none of these countries had ever heard of the Lily J Foundation or any of the other names this charity supposedly went by. Investigations ongoing. The foundation website had AI-altered videos with ChatGPT watermark included and some super sketchy and sus logo placement, like over her arm, and a surprising number of children with 6 fingers on their right hand, that rascally Count Rugen. There was even a fake humanitarian award given out to Lily J via a company that she was the co-founder of. Okay, that checks out. Lily issued a response video to these allegations with supposedly live video calls to her feet-on-the-ground people in Gaza, Sudan, and Uganda. Link below. Now, it's important not to defame someone, so this is all allegedly. Other explanations are entirely possible. But highly sus, my dears, highly sus. Because while this response video was obviously a pre-recorded video that was edited for YouTube, her phone calls were supposedly live to verify that these are real people and real places. But unfortunately, I don't know how to clip a video yet, so I will have to do screen caps, but please open another tab and watch for these examples that I'm talking about with the timestamps. If you turn off the sound of her talking, you can really see where things have been cut and spliced and how they don't quite add up to a real live video call, even accounting for poor reception. Our first call timestamp is 8:37 to 8:42. It's very, very short. It shows the bakery in Gaza with the guy wearing a clear Lily J Foundation logo vest going to the door of the bakery. Then it cuts to a street view of Gaza with a man's hand pointing, but not quite where it ought to be if he's the one holding the camera. Then it cuts back to the logo vest inside the bakery. Personally, I think this is 2 videos stitched together and the man never actually left the bakery. I also want to know where the generator noise is. This area is in absolute rubble, so they can't be on an outside power source. No objections to the pastries. Apparently that's a thing in Gaza. I wouldn't say no to a free donut if I lived in a war zone. I feel like I have seen that arm-pointing video clip of the street from an actual news source like Reuters about 2 years ago, but that may just be my own memory playing tricks on me, so that's not a solid assertion on my part, and I did not look it up. But it's just sort of like nagging in my brain that this is from an actual news source. At 9:42, it starts with a call to her Uganda orphanage, except it just picks up directly in an activity with children, not a normal phone call, no hello or anything like that. Okay, maybe she edited that out, but why? It ends at 10:26, and the girl in the white Lily J Foundation logo shirt who is speaking does not look like she is saying what we are hearing, and I'm serious about that. Turn the sound off and re-watch it. And the man she is speaking to is cut off mid-sentence like he was conducting an interview, not saying goodbye to his very important benefactor. There are 5 cuts and stitches in this video call, not glitches. You can see this because Lily J keeps talking over the top of it without interruption. I rewatched that sucker 4 times to make sure that I was not imagining this. Like, seriously, this is really pissing me off. 10:47 to 11:35 is supposedly in Sudan. This seems to be a glitchy video call and it may actually be all one clip, but there is no conversation on the other end. I'd love to know if ChatGPT left a hidden watermark on that logo. She does come back to this later with a lady talking, but there's no translator, and I don't want to offer an opinion as to whether she's just voicing over someone else's video like it happens to be hers, or if she's actually speaking to this woman. Her video goes on to flip back and forth through the various locations, with some videos looking more plausible than others. I edit my own videos for awkward pauses and ums and scratching my nose, and you probably edit those things out of your videos too. So maybe all of these things were actual phone calls? But don't you think if you were trying to convince people that this is actually real, that you would leave all those things in? My lawyer told me not to do this, but lady, follow your lawyer's advice. Now, again, this is all allegedly. No official investigations are happening that I know of, and no charges have been filed as of 7/29/26. Supposedly, her website isn't taking donations anymore. That's the Australian website. The international website apparently is taking donations. I didn't try. I'm not giving her any of my money. I did not include a link to that below, but it is the Lily J Foundation. You can Google it if you want. It's slow as molasses and as glitchy as her video calls. As Adam pointed out, her business disclaimer at the bottom is so full of, oh my god, WTF, that I cannot even. Why do I care what some random religious influencer does online or with her followers' money? Because this is supposedly a charity for feeding children, and people are donating their hard-earned money to feed these kids. And if at least a small portion of that money isn't going to feed these kids, that's a very big problem. If someone is showing AI video of feeding AI children and no real-world children are being fed, that's a big problem. If this business or charity isn't operating on the up and up and registered with the respective governments, where is this money actually going? Is she paying for lavish vacations, or is she actually feeding kids and just did it dumb and used AI in her media? Who knows? Within the Muslim community, there are all sorts of concerns about this. You can search Lily J Scandal here on YouTube if you're so inclined. Now, most of us in the ex-Christian community are used to publicly religious people being total crooks when it comes to charity. So any pretty little blonde girl photo-opping in front of a bunch of dark-skinned kiddos might as well be waving a giant red warning flag to match her veneers. And the smart donor will trot off the terms and conditions and financial disclosures to see how much of a scam this is going to be before tapping in their credit card number. Of course, charities have operating costs, and only a fraction of that money will ever go to the actual people in need. I was involved in nonprofits for years. I know how this works. The paperwork is a real headache. It does not work like this. I don't care what faith a person follows or doesn't follow. If they are feeding hungry kids, I'm good with it. But if they are claiming to feed hungry kids, and instead that money is disappearing into... well, I hope real governments find real answers soon. I hope that this was just a misguided attempt at real charity. I hope that real children in Gaza did get to eat real cinnamon buns. But if a handful of 19-year-old college kids can start a small charity to fund AIDS research via pop-up art auctions before the internet stopped making squee sounds, then this lady could have filed the equivalent of a 501c3 and worked above board too. And if it is found that she didn't feed real children with all that dough, I hope the people who gave her their money sue the extensions right off of her pretty little head. Thank you for joining me on the Secular Scriptures. I will see you next Sunday at 9 a.m., hopefully for something a bit more cheerful and philosophical than this mess. It's cold.